What if I told you that a 65-year-old emergency room doctor discovered one simple morning habit that brought back the energy and confidence he thought were gone forever? And what if this same habit could work for any man over 60, right in the comfort of his own home? Listen, I know you might be thinking this sounds too good to be true. I get it. At our age, we've heard plenty of promises that led nowhere. But here's the thing. This isn't about some miracle pill or expensive treatment. This is about understanding what's really happening in our bodies after 60 and working with our natural systems instead of against them. The doctor I'm talking about, Dr. Michael Chen, had reached his breaking point. Despite being a medical professional, he found himself struggling with the same issues so many of us face. Low energy that made even simple tasks feel overwhelming. A loss of that spark in his marriage that had once come so naturally. The kind of fatigue that sleep just couldn't fix. But then he stumbled onto something during his own research into circulation and hormone health. Something so simple, it almost seemed ridiculous. Yet, within just a few weeks of making this one change to his morning routine, everything started shifting. His energy returned, his confidence came back, and yes, even his intimacy with his wife improved in ways he hadn't experienced in years. Today, I'm going to share exactly what Dr. Chen discovered, and more importantly, how you can start using this same approach tomorrow morning. Before we dive deeper into this conversation, I'd love to know something. Which country are you watching from today? Just type it in the comments below. It amazes me how this kind of senior wisdom travels across borders and brings men together from all walks of life. And while you're down there, if this topic hits close to home for you, if you've been dealing with some of these same challenges, just give this video a thumbs up. It helps other guys our age find this information when they need it most. All right, let's get into Dr. Chen's story. Dr. Michael Chen had spent over 30 years in emergency medicine. He'd saved countless lives, worked through endless night shifts, and prided himself on being the kind of man others could depend on. But at 65, something had changed. The man who once felt invincible was struggling with problems he never thought he'd face. I remember the morning it really hit me, Dr. Chen told me during our conversation. I was getting ready for work, and I caught myself in the bathroom mirror. I looked exhausted before the day even started. My wife Sarah was still sleeping, and I realized we hadn't been truly intimate in months. Not because we didn't love each other, but because I just didn't feel like myself anymore. The irony wasn't lost on him. Here he was, a doctor who understood the human body better than most, and yet he felt powerless against what seemed like the inevitable decline of aging. His energy levels had been dropping for the past 2 years. That natural confidence he'd always carried, the kind that made patients trust him instantly, had started to fade. The worst part wasn't even the physical symptoms, he continued. It was feeling like I was disappointing Sarah. We'd been married for 38 years, and suddenly I felt like I wasn't the husband she deserved. I was going through the motions, but that spark, that vitality, it just wasn't there. Dr. Chen tried what many of us try. He looked at his diet, started taking vitamins, even tried some of those expensive supplements you see advertised everywhere. Nothing seemed to make a real difference. He was getting decent sleep, staying relatively active, but still felt like he was running on empty most days. Then one morning, while researching circulation issues for a patient, he came across some fascinating research about morning blood flow patterns in men over 60. The data showed something he hadn't considered before: how our circulation naturally changes as we age, and how this affects not just our energy, but our hormone production, our confidence, and yes, our intimate health. I realized I'd been thinking about this all wrong, Dr. Chen explained. I was treating the symptoms, the fatigue, the low mood, instead of addressing what was actually causing them. Poor circulation wasn't just making me tired. It was creating a cascade of issues throughout my entire system. That's when he decided to try something different. Instead of looking for complex solutions, he focused on one simple change he could make every single morning. Something that would naturally improve his circulation right from the start of each day. The change was subtle at first. After about a week, he noticed he wasn't reaching for that second cup of coffee by 10 a.m. After 2 weeks, Sarah mentioned that he seemed more like his old self. And by the end of the first month, Doctor, Chen felt a transformation he hadn't experienced in years. I don't want to oversell this, he told me. I'm still 65 years old. I'm not trying to be 25 again, but I feel like myself again. I have energy for the things that matter. I'm present in my marriage. I wake up feeling ready for the day instead of dreading it. The beautiful thing about Dr. Chen's discovery is how simple it really is. It doesn't require any special equipment, doesn't cost hundreds of dollars, and takes less than 5 minutes each morning. But the science behind why it works is fascinating, and more importantly, the results speak for themselves. To understand why Dr. Chen's morning habit works so well, we need to talk about what's really happening in our bodies after 60. And I want to be straight with you about this. Some of what I'm going to share might feel a little uncomfortable, but it's important we understand the truth. The reality is that our circulation naturally starts to change as we age. It's not anyone's fault, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's simply biology. The blood vessels that carried nutrients and oxygen so efficiently in our younger years start to lose some of their flexibility. Think of it like a garden hose that's been stored in the garage all winter. It still works, but it's not quite as flexible as it used to be. This change in circulation affects us in ways most men don't realize. When blood flow decreases, the first thing we notice is often fatigue. Not the kind of tiredness that comes from a hard day's work, the kind you can recover from with a good night's sleep. This is deeper. It's the feeling that you're operating at 60% capacity even when you're well rested. But it goes beyond just feeling tired. Poor circulation directly impacts our hormone production. You see, our bodies need good blood flow to produce testosterone efficiently. When circulation slows down, testosterone production often follows suit. And when testosterone levels drop, it affects everything from our energy and motivation to our confidence and, yes, our intimate health. Dr. Chen explained it to me this way. Imagine your body is like a city, and your blood vessels are the highways. When traffic flows smoothly, everything works efficiently. But when those highways get congested or narrow, it affects the entire city. Businesses can't get supplies. workers can't get to their jobs, and the whole system starts to slow down. This is exactly what happens with circulation issues. The heart is still pumping. That's not the problem. The issue is that the smaller blood vessels, especially in areas like the pelvic region, aren't getting the consistent blood flow they need to function optimally. Here's what many men don't realize. This process often starts gradually in our 50s and becomes more noticeable in our 60s. By the time we're feeling the symptoms, the low energy, the decreased confidence, the intimacy issues, the circulation problem has usually been developing for years. The frustrating part is that traditional approaches often miss this connection. We might get our cholesterol checked, our blood pressure monitored, maybe even our testosterone levels tested. But rarely does anyone look at the bigger picture of how circulation affects our overall vitality. And here's something else that might surprise you. Stress makes this whole situation worse. When we're worried about our energy levels, concerned about our performance, or frustrated with how we're feeling, our bodies produce stress hormones that actually constrict blood vessels even more. It becomes a cycle that's hard to break. Many of us also develop habits that unknowingly make circulation problems worse. Sitting for long periods, especially first thing in the morning. Starting the day with high amounts of caffeine, which can temporarily constrict blood vessels. Even something as simple as taking very hot showers can affect circulation patterns. The good news, and this is crucial, is that circulation can be improved at any age. Unlike some aspects of aging that we simply have to accept, blood flow is something we can actively influence. Our blood vessels retain the ability to become more flexible and efficient, even in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. This is where Dr. Chen's discovery becomes so important. Instead of fighting against these natural changes or trying to mask the symptoms, he found a way to work with his body's systems. His morning habit specifically targets circulation in a way that creates a positive cascade effect throughout the entire day. Think about it this way. If poor circulation is like having traffic jams on your body's highways, then Dr. Chen's approach is like having a traffic controller who helps everything flow more smoothly from the very start of the day. When circulation improves, energy improves. When energy improves, confidence follows. And when both energy and confidence improve, well, that affects every aspect of our lives. The key insight that Dr. Chen had was timing.
Most of us think about health as something we address when problems arise, but circulation works differently. The patterns we establish first thing in the morning set the tone for our blood flow throughout the entire day. This isn't about doing something extreme or complicated. It's about understanding how our bodies work and making one small change that supports natural, healthy circulation from the moment we wake up. Now let's get into the heart of what Dr. Chen discovered and the 3 natural approaches that can help any man over 60 improve his circulation, energy, and confidence. These aren't complicated medical procedures or expensive treatments. They're simple, safe strategies that you can start using tomorrow morning. This is the core of Dr. Chen's discovery, and it's beautifully simple. Every morning, before he does anything else, before coffee, before checking his phone, before getting dressed, he spends exactly 4 minutes doing what he calls his circulation activation sequence. Here's what it involves. Dr. Chen starts by lying flat on his back in bed. He then raises his legs up against the wall or headboard for 2 minutes. This immediately helps blood flow back toward his heart and gives his circulation system a gentle reset after hours of horizontal sleep. After 2 minutes, he lowers his legs and does gentle ankle rotations, 10 circles in each direction with both feet. This might sound almost too simple, but here's the science. The calf muscles act as a secondary heart, pumping blood back up through our legs. These simple movements activate that pump and get blood flowing more efficiently. Finally, Dr. Chen sits on the edge of his bed and does what he calls breath flow breathing. He takes 5 deep breaths, focusing on expanding his chest and belly completely on the inhale and slowly releasing on the exhale. This oxygenates his blood and helps distribute that freshly oxygenated blood throughout his system. The whole thing takes 4 minutes, Dr. Chen explained, but those 4 minutes set the tone for my entire circulatory system for the day. I can literally feel the difference in my energy levels within the first hour of being awake. The reason this works so well is timing. When we first wake up, our circulation is naturally sluggish from hours of sleep. Most of us immediately start moving around, grab coffee, and expect our bodies to just catch up. But by taking those 4 minutes to consciously activate circulation first, we're working with our body's natural rhythms instead of against them. The second part of Dr. Chen's approach involves what he calls strategic hydration. Now, this isn't just about drinking more water. It's about when and how you hydrate first thing in the morning. Here's what Dr. Chen does. Immediately after his circulation sequence, he drinks exactly 16 ounces of room temperature water. Not cold water, not hot coffee. Room temperature water. He drinks it slowly over about 5 minutes rather than gulping it down quickly. The science behind this is fascinating. Overnight, our blood naturally becomes thicker due to dehydration. When blood is thicker, it's harder for our heart to pump it efficiently, especially to smaller blood vessels. By rehydrating strategically first thing in the morning, we're literally making it easier for our circulation system to do its job. But here's the key. It has to be before caffeine. I used to reach for coffee first thing every morning, Dr. Chen told me. But coffee, especially on an empty stomach, can actually constrict blood vessels temporarily. By hydrating first, then waiting at least 30 minutes before any caffeine, I'm giving my circulation system the best possible start to the day. Dr. Chen also adds a small pinch of natural sea salt to his morning water. Not enough to taste, but enough to provide electrolytes that help with hydration and blood flow. Think of it like priming a pump, he explained. The salt helps the water actually get absorbed and utilized by your system more efficiently. This strategic hydration approach works because it addresses one of the most common but overlooked causes of poor circulation: chronic mild dehydration. Many men our age wake up dehydrated every single morning without realizing it, and then compound the problem by immediately consuming diuretics like coffee. The third component of Dr. Chen's approach is what he calls his 5-minute movement pattern. This isn't exercise in the traditional sense. It's more like gentle activation of the body's major circulation points. Dr. Chen's movement pattern includes 4 simple components, each done for about 1 minute. First, gentle arm circles. Standing in his bedroom, he does slow, large arm circles, 5 forward, 5 backward. This activates circulation in his upper body and shoulders, areas that often get restricted after hours of sleep. Second, modified squats. He doesn't do deep squats or anything strenuous. Instead, he simply stands and sits back down in a chair 5 times, focusing on engaging his leg muscles. This activates the large muscle groups in his legs and gets blood pumping through his lower body. Third, torso twists. Standing with his feet shoulder-width apart, he gently rotates his torso left and right, keeping his hips facing forward. 5 twists in each direction. This helps with circulation through his core and lower back. Finally, and this might surprise you, he does gentle neck rolls. Our necks often get stiff overnight, and poor circulation to the head can contribute to that foggy, sluggish feeling many of us experience in the morning. 5 slow, gentle neck rolls help improve blood flow to the brain. The entire movement sequence takes 5 minutes max, Dr. Chen explained. I'm not trying to get a workout. I'm simply waking up my circulation system and letting my body know it's time to start moving blood efficiently. The beauty of this approach is that it's sustainable. Dr. Chen has been doing this routine for over 2 years now, and he never feels like it's a burden or something he has to force himself to do. It's gentle enough that even on days when he's not feeling great, he can still manage it. Studies have shown that gentle morning movement, especially when combined with the breathing and hydration components, can improve circulation efficiency by up to 30% within the first hour of waking. For men over 60, this can mean the difference between starting the day feeling sluggish versus starting with genuine energy and vitality. The key to all 3 of these solutions is consistency and the specific order. Circulation activation first, then strategic hydration, then gentle movement. Each component builds on the previous one, creating a synergistic effect that's more powerful than any single approach alone. Dr. Chen describes it as giving my body a roadmap for the day. Instead of leaving my circulation to chance, I'm actively setting it up for success every single morning. Now that you understand Dr. Chen's core morning routine, let me share some additional insights that can amplify these results, plus some common mistakes that many men make when trying to improve their circulation and energy. Here's something Dr. Chen discovered by accident that made a significant difference. The temperature of his bedroom matters more than he realized. For optimal circulation, your sleeping environment should be cool, but not cold, ideally between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I used to keep our bedroom quite warm, thinking it would help with circulation, Dr. Chen explained. But I learned that our bodies actually maintain better blood flow when they're slightly cool. It keeps our cardiovascular system more active, even during sleep. This doesn't mean you should be uncomfortable or shivering. It means finding that sweet spot where you're comfortable under light bedding, but the air itself is crisp. Many men find that this simple change improves not just their morning energy, but their sleep quality overall. The science behind this is that when our environment is too warm, our blood vessels dilate to help cool us down, but in a way that can actually make circulation less efficient. When the temperature is slightly cool, our cardiovascular system maintains better tone and responsiveness. What you do the night before can set you up for success or failure with your morning routine. Dr. Chen developed what he calls his evening setup ritual, 3 simple things he does before bed that make his morning circulation routine more effective. First, he puts a full glass of room temperature water on his nightstand before going to sleep. This removes any excuse or delay in the morning. The water is right there, ready to go. Second, he does 2 minutes of gentle stretching before getting into bed. Nothing intense, just simple reaches and gentle twists that help prevent his muscles from getting too tight overnight. Think of it as preparing your body for a good night's recovery, he told me. Third, and this might be the most important, he puts his phone on airplane mode at least 30 minutes before sleep. This isn't just about sleep quality. It's about ensuring his morning routine starts intentionally, rather than immediately getting pulled into emails, news, or social media. The morning routine works best when you're focused and present, Dr. Chen explained. If I start the day looking at my phone, I'm already scattering my attention and increasing my stress levels before I've even taken care of my basic circulation needs. Once a week, Dr. Chen adds what he calls a circulation boost day. On Saturday mornings, instead of his regular 4-minute sequence, he extends it to 10 minutes and adds one additional component: contrast therapy. After his regular routine, he takes a warm shower for 2 minutes, then finishes with 30 seconds of cooler water. Not freezing cold, just noticeably cooler. This gentle contrast helps train his blood vessels to be more responsive and flexible. I'm not talking about those extreme cold plunges you see online, Dr. Chen clarified. This is gentle contrast that helps improve vascular flexibility over time. My grandfather used to do something similar. He called it waking up the blood. The biggest mistake Dr. Chen sees men make is trying to overhaul their entire morning routine overnight. They'll try to add 30 minutes of exercise, change their entire diet, and implement 5 new habits all at once, he said. Then when they can't maintain it, they give up entirely. The power of Dr. Chen's approach is its simplicity and sustainability. Start with just the 4-minute circulation sequence for the first week. Once that feels natural, add the strategic hydration. Then, after another week, add the movement pattern. Remember, we're not training for a marathon, Dr. Chen reminded me. We're creating a sustainable daily practice that supports our circulation and energy for the long term. Another mistake is being inconsistent with the routine, especially on weekends or when traveling. Dr. Chen emphasized that circulation responds to consistent daily input, much like taking medication. You wouldn't take blood pressure medication only on weekdays, he explained. Your circulation system doesn't take weekends off either. The routine is so brief that I can do it in any hotel room, any bedroom, anywhere I wake up. For travel, Dr. Chen has a modified version that takes just 2 minutes. Legs up against the wall for 1 minute, followed by the breathing sequence. It's not as comprehensive as his full routine, but it maintains the pattern and keeps his circulation system engaged. While some men notice improvements within the first week, Dr. Chen cautions against expecting dramatic changes immediately. This isn't a quick fix, he said. It's more like compound interest for your health. The benefits build over time. Most men start noticing sustained energy improvements around the 2-week mark. Confidence and mood improvements often come around week 3 or 4. The more intimate benefits that Dr. Chen experienced typically develop over 4 to 6 weeks of consistent practice. The key is to trust the process, Dr. Chen advised. Your circulation system is like a muscle. It responds to consistent, gentle training better than sporadic, intense efforts. The beautiful thing about these bonus tips is that they're all simple additions to the core routine. You don't need special equipment, expensive supplements, or complicated schedules. Just consistency, patience, and trust in your body's natural ability to improve at any age. As we start to wrap up our conversation today, I want to take a moment to address something important. If you've been listening to Dr. Chen's story and thinking, this sounds too simple to work, I understand that feeling. At our age, we've probably tried enough things that didn't live up to their promises to be naturally skeptical. But here's what I've learned from talking to hundreds of men over 60 about their health journeys. The most powerful changes often come from the simplest practices. It's not about finding some secret that nobody else knows. It's about finding something that works with your body's natural systems and then being consistent with it. What was your biggest takeaway from today's conversation? Was it learning about the connection between circulation and energy, Dr. Chen's simple morning routine, or maybe one of those bonus tips that we covered? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Share your biggest insight from today's video. You might inspire someone else to make a positive change in their own life. Sometimes it just takes one person saying, "This made sense to me," for another guy to think, "Maybe I should try this too." And if you've already been doing something similar to Dr. Chen's routine, or if you decide to try it, definitely let us know how it goes. The comment section on these videos has become like a support group for men our age who are committed to feeling their best. Your experience could be exactly what another man needs to hear. Now, if you found Dr. Chen's approach interesting and you'd like to dive a little deeper, I've put together something that might help. It's called the 7-Day Circulation Recovery Plan for Men over 60, and it's completely free. This plan takes everything we talked about today and breaks it down into a simple, day-by-day guide. It includes the exact timing for Dr. Chen's morning routine, the specific instructions for strategic hydration, and even some additional circulation-supporting tips that we didn't have time to cover in today's video. The plan also includes what I call troubleshooting guides, simple solutions for common challenges like, what if I can't get my legs up against the wall? Or, what if I forget to put water by my bedside? These are real questions from real men who've tried this approach, and I've found that having solutions ready makes all the difference. You'll find the link to download this free plan in the description below this video. It's not a sales pitch for anything. It's simply a more detailed guide to help you implement what we've discussed today. I created it because I know that sometimes the difference between trying something and actually doing it consistently is having a clear, step-by-step plan to follow. The plan also includes some bonus information about foods that naturally support circulation and simple evening habits that can improve your morning energy. Think of it as a companion guide to everything Dr. Chen shared with us. Speaking of upcoming content, in our next video, I'm going to be sharing something that might surprise you. It's about a common bedtime habit that's quietly undermining circulation and energy for men over 60. This habit is so common that probably 90% of us do it without thinking, but it can significantly impact both our energy levels and our intimate health. Dr. Chen actually mentioned this habit to me during our conversation, and when I heard what it was, I realized I'd been doing it for years without realizing the impact. The good news is that it's just as easy to change as it is to overlook. I'll be breaking down exactly what this bedtime habit is, why it's so problematic for men our age, and most importantly, what to do instead. It's another one of those simple changes that can create surprisingly significant results. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. If today's conversation about circulation and morning routines resonated with you, next week's topic about bedtime habits will be equally valuable. You know, one of the things I appreciate most about Dr. Chen's story is how honest he was about his struggles. Here's a successful doctor, someone who understands the human body better than most of us, and he still faced the same challenges that many of us deal with after 60. That tells me something important. These issues aren't about failure or weakness. They're about biology and time, and they're more common than any of us probably realize. But they're also more addressable than many of us believe. I've been making videos about men's health over 60 for several years now, and one thing I hear consistently is this sense of resignation, this feeling that declining energy and confidence are just part of getting older, and there's nothing we can do about it. But conversations like the one we had today with Dr. Chen remind me that's simply not true. Yes, our bodies change as we age, but within those changes, there are still opportunities to feel vital, confident, and energetic. It just requires a different approach than what worked when we were 30 or 40. The beautiful thing about the circulation-focused approach we discussed today is that it's sustainable. This isn't about pushing your body to do things it can't do. It's about supporting your body to do what it naturally wants to do. Circulate blood efficiently, maintain good energy, and help you feel like yourself. Whatever your specific situation is, whatever challenges you're facing, remember that you're not alone in this. Every man who's made it to 60 or beyond is dealing with some version of these same issues. The difference is in how we choose to respond to them. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want to leave you with something that Dr. Chen said to me that really stuck. We were talking about age and vitality, and he said, "You know, I spent so much time in my early 60s focusing on what I was losing that I almost missed discovering what I could still gain." That perspective shift is powerful. Instead of focusing on what our bodies can't do anymore, what if we focused on what they can still do when we support them properly? Dr. Chen's circulation routine isn't about turning back the clock. It's about making the most of exactly where we are right now. I think about my own journey with these kinds of discoveries. There have been so many times when I've been hesitant to try something simple because it seemed too easy to be effective. But time and again, I've learned that our bodies respond beautifully to consistent, gentle support. They don't need dramatic interventions. They need daily care and attention. The morning routine we discussed today, those 4 minutes of circulation activation, the strategic hydration, the gentle movement pattern, these aren't complicated medical procedures. They're simple acts of self-care that honor where our bodies are in this stage of life. And here's something else worth remembering. Starting this kind of routine isn't just about the physical benefits, though those are certainly important. It's also about taking control of your health in a way that feels empowering rather than overwhelming. Every morning when you do those leg elevations, when you drink that glass of water mindfully, when you do those gentle movements, you're making a statement. You're saying, "I'm worth taking care of. My energy matters. My vitality matters. My well-being matters." That mindset shift can be just as powerful as the physical routine itself. I also want to acknowledge that change isn't always easy, even when it's simple. Some mornings, you might wake up and not feel like doing the routine. That's normal and human. The key is not to let one missed day become a reason to give up entirely. Dr. Chen told me that there have been mornings when he's done a shortened version, maybe just the leg elevation and the water, skipping the movement. The perfect routine done inconsistently is less valuable than a good routine done regularly, he said. I'd rather do something than nothing. That's wisdom worth holding on to. Progress, not perfection. Consistency, not intensity. If you're dealing with low energy, if your confidence isn't what it used to be, if you're looking for ways to feel more like yourself again, I hope today's conversation gave you something practical to work with. But more than that, I hope it gave you hope. You're not broken. You're not beyond help. You're not destined to just accept decline as inevitable. Your body still has remarkable capacity for improvement and vitality. It just needs the right kind of support. Dr. Chen's story is proof that change is possible at any age. But remember, his story isn't special because he's a doctor. It's special because he was willing to try something new and stick with it long enough to see results. You have that same capacity. You have that same opportunity. Whether you decide to try the morning routine we discussed today, or you take away some other insight from our conversation, the important thing is that you keep believing in your ability to feel better. Keep believing that your best days don't have to be behind you. Take care of yourself, not because you have to, but because you deserve to feel good in your own body. You've earned the right to wake up with energy, to feel confident in who you are, and to approach each day with vitality. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for being open to new ideas and for caring enough about your well-being to seek out information that could help. That curiosity and commitment to yourself is already a step in the right direction. Until next time, be well, be patient with yourself, and remember, you're not alone in this journey. Take it one morning at a time.